Okay.
Yeah. Hi guys, sorry for the delay. We're here again with the second webinar for the Americas webinar series, and we apologize first of all for the delay. We had some technical issues with our live stream, but now let's get started with Eva. And thank you, Eva, for being here today. We really appreciate your time and your effort on this webinar.
Thank you, Juanca. Hi, everyone. This is Eva, Finances Assistant for the Americas. I am really glad to be here with you, and I hope that you are staying safe and keeping strong during these difficult times. So let's start on how to create national financial plans. So why are we giving? Why am I giving this webinar? So as you may know, national financial plans are a part of the Americas region strategic plan. In this strategic plan, we have 5 priorities, and one of these priorities is national financial plans. So this is why this is a very important topic that you need to address to everyone. A national financial plan in the regional strategy is financial stability has always been one of the main of the biggest struggles for our federation and its members. The Americas region members are always struggling with finances in order to pay membership fees and attend international GAs, RMs, and external events that the federation offers. As a part of the Americas region, we need to build capacity around finances in our NMOs. And it is important to create financial plans for our organizations in order to empower them and make their plans sustainable. So this is a very important part for you as a national organization member. As you need to grow up and make your finances sustainable, and in this way your NMO will improve and you will struggle less. So what is financial planning? So there are many ideas that come up to our minds when someone tells us about financial planning, but what is it really? The financial planning is the process of setting, planning, achieving, and reviewing your goals through the proper management of your finances. So this way you get to know your finances and get to know where are you heading off. The financial planning means deciding in advance how much to spend on what to spend according to the funds at your disposal. Like every time you have funding and you have some expenses to do, you need to know how many money you will be needing for each activity or for each need of your NMO. So we have 3 basic points in which fundraising is one of the main pillars of it. You need to do a determination of the amount of finance needed, how many money you will be needing and what for. So you need to determine the sources of funds. Is it going to be members? Is it going to be the organization? Is it going to be an external funding or a sponsorship? We also have grants opportunities. So it's very important to determine where the money is coming from. And the determination of suitable policies for proper utilization and administration of funds. So always be ethical in the utilization of your money and going through an ethical framework to use them. But why do you need a national financial plan? Yeah, all of the administration and what is it is very specific, but how can I apply this to my NMO, and how is it going to help me improving my finances? Why do I need a financial plan? You need a financial plan because it gives you a plan to achieve financial goals in different stages of your organization. Here, the board members are a very important part of it, as they make the main decisions around the money. You, of course, need a treasurer that takes the biggest part of it, but all the board has to be involved in it. This is because you need internal control system. So board members' responsibility includes reviewing financial information and making decisions in the best interest of an organization. So if you go all and work as a team and see the liabilities you have and see the strengths you have, you will come up with a really good plan for your finances. And this is a priority for your organization if you want it to survive, and if you want it to go bigger than it is right now. So there are two principal objectives of the financial planning. The first one is to ensure availability of funds whenever these are required, and the other one is to see that firm does not raise resources unnecessarily. Why? Having an excess of funding can be as bad as not having funding at all. Yeah, you can do a lot more if you have more funds. But what if you are receiving this from an external, and this external says, okay, I am funding you to do this activity, but when you do the activity, the money is it's a lot and you need to save it. But after that, you can be in trouble with the organization that gave you the money. So you have to be very wise and do a really good balance on what you are expecting from it. And the other one, to ensure availability of funds whenever these are required, it's also one of the best objectives, because if you don't have the money to do something you really need to do for your organization, it can be as bad. Okay, you need to find out how to do it and come up with fundraising strategies and be more able to get there. So how do I build my national financial plan? So this is a very important part because it has 4 steps, 4 principal steps that has to be followed in order to get a good plan for your organization. So the first one is to assess your financial situation, get to know what your organization finances are. The second one is to create a budget. And the third one is to set financial goals. And the fourth one is to implement this financial plan, but also reviewing it and to know that it can evaluate during the time. Okay. So when you assess your financial situation, you have a clear understanding of your NMO's current financial situation. What does it mean to assess your financial situation? Okay, you will be needing to know where your funding is coming from. What are your your bigger needs for your organization? If you have small expenses or big ones, so get to have everything in order. Okay. and a very important part of it is to set a goal of what you want to achieve. Always have something in mind. Where do I want to go with the money I have? Do I want to fund some of my members to assist for an international event? Do I want to pay membership fees? Do I want to do a big activity in my country that sets an impact for the authorities or government of my own country? Do I want to have a small activity that impacts only a local group of people? It's very important to get this in mind, okay? How should you do it? Make a list. When you make a list and you have to separate your assets, which are your incomes, and your liabilities, which are your outcomes. Do an analysis of your finances. See what are the main needs. Your assets might be your members, might be sponsorships, your national events, your exchanges, and your liabilities can be the membership fees, the expenses for international events, or maybe your national events are the ones that are taking money from you and not giving it to you. So it's very important to have this clear idea of what are my main assets and my main liabilities in order to get to know my finances. So what are the main and the most needs? Have this clear, okay? You have membership fees, you have the resources for projects and activities. You also have administration, banking, auditor, and lawyers, because this is a very important part, the administrative part of an organization. So you can be in a correct legal situation. It's very important to put a good budget into this to be to avoid having fiscal problems or law problems afterwards. So because we are students, I know, but it's important to have a really good legal framework around our organization to protect the board members and the members in general of the organization. Another NMO needs that can be set is the hosting pages, like websites, email accounts, all the electronic devices that allow you to have your structure with your local committees. So and others, there are NMOs that have other kind of needs, and it's very important to identify them in this way to get a very closer idea of how to get funded and how much money we will be needing. But what are NMO's main financial resources? So we have external memberships, exchanges. Sometimes universities get to fund their organizations. If you get to impress a university, you might get funded by them. You also have access to international grants. Your national events can give you a lot of money also. And for the last, we have sponsorship. These are only a few sources that you can get. You have to be creative on this. There's no limit when coming for getting funded for a good cause. You only need to go to the to talk to the right people and go finding this. Okay, In a second step of your national financial plan, it's very important to create a projection for a budget. Tracking ins and outs. This step will be easier because of the previous one. You already track your ins and outs. You already know what are your liabilities and what are your strengths. Okay. After that, you have to look at the latest year finances and make a projection. Okay, we are currently in 2020, but my organization has been active since 2010. So how is the financial history of my NMO? Do I need to look to previous financial reports? Do I need to talk to previous treasurers or to previous presidents, so I can get a clear idea on what is been happening in my organization? Has it always been in financial trouble, or it had a good time where money was not an issue, and yet identify what did they do good at the time or wrong? Okay, it's very important to get this in order, and maybe replying the good ideas that had happened in the past, or eliminate those ideas that are not giving me profit. Okay, it's very important to have a clear idea of the latest years, because this way you understand the organization money habits, and you can get to do all of your decision in a best way. And this way you are identifying also what are your NMO's needs. So here are some tips for you in doing this projection budget. You need to prioritize needs. What is the main need of your organization? Is it to pay membership? Is it to get a good space for incomings to have a good time with you? Is it to sponsor your NMO president, your NEOs, your NORI, or someone else to get to go to a general assembly or to a regional meeting? Do you have the need of paying some legal advice, or is it necessary to go further, or to get something more? And look for unnecessary expenses. The thing is that we always believe that we have to pay for everything as an organization, and we might not have the exact money to do it. So it's important to know when can I spend this money and when cannot. It is not possible because I have other priorities. This is why it is important to prioritize needs and look for unnecessary expenses. It's very important to identify what is going bad for my organization and what will be doing good for it to go bigger, and avoid small expenses. This is a very important point that I like to tell people to do, because let's get an hypothetical example. If you want to do an activity and you need some pencils to do the activity, you will be needing 10 pencils this time, but you were not considering your 10 pencils in the beginning of your budget. Okay, go buy them. It's a small expense, it doesn't matter. But next week you will be needing to do another activity where you will be needing post-its, and these post-its are not expensive, and you didn't have them neither in your budget. And the next week, the same thing will happen. 10 weeks from now, you will be having 10 small expenses that you weren't considering them into in your budget. So these will be so together they will go big, and they might be a liability in your organization. So be aware that small expenses are not as necessary as other things, and if you are going to do them, make sure you have them in your budget. It's better this way. Also, you need to set financial goals. Okay, why do I need this money for? Okay, you have to set them in a short, medium, and long term. For a short term, we can do the activities for the next week. Some NMOs tell me that they have to pay their hostings next week, so they need to pull apart the money to pay that. A medium term goal can be the payment of the membership fees that are in July. So this tells you that you already need to see if you will be able to pay for it, because it's a big part of your budget that will be going to your membership. And in a long term, you can do you might get leave some money for the next term of people that will be leading your organization. You might want them to get I don't know, $100 to get started and to don't have any financial trouble, and so on. Okay, so having the timeline will help you to program the activities you will be needing to do as fundraising. So for this, I will be doing a small commercial. Next week, we will be having fundraising strategies webinar. So this will be helping you in this part. So what activities can you do to get your goals done? And it's important to be realistic and manage day-to-day expenses, and always map the cost. And it's in the end, for it, the last part of your national financial plan should be regularly review and readjust your financial plan. I know some NMOs have to vote the budget for the year, but it's important to know that it is not strict. It can be changing within the needs of the time. I can assure you all that at the beginning of the year, you all had some activities planned for the months of March, April, May, June, as fundraisers. And with the situation, you can't do them. So this is a very clear example of what an external issue can affect directly to your organization. This will be affecting us all, and it's important to get advanced in it. Okay, right now we don't know where are we going. This crisis is not going to be short, but because of this, you need to replan. So you need to review your finances. You have to have, yes, a strict discipline to follow the plan, but you have to review your existing budget. It is not the same that you were planning to have. So with this, make sure that they fit your needs. If it doesn't fit your needs, make your needs fit your budget. This is very important. And also, it's important to rebalance if necessary. This is a dynamic and continuous process, and it cannot be done really well if you don't have this in mind. It's important to have this in your head when you are planning and when you are doing your national financial plan. It's important to have this in mind. I know it's not very easy for everyone. I know this is a difficult part for some organization, but it is one of the main things you should be doing right now. So this way you have to monitor revenue, support and expenses, and compare results to prior periods or to budgeted amounts. You need to assess the financial condition of the organization, determine whether additional fundraising events or activities are needed to fill the gaps from shortfalls in revenue, and determine management's ability to use funds effectively to meet the organization's mission. These are also very important points when doing your financial plan. Having all of this in mind, it's a very important part. Also, to keep them as a part as your NMO strategic plan, the budgeting, it's the base. I can tell you, if you have a good budget and a good planning in this, you won't be having trouble with your finances. This is something I can assure to you. If you stick to your budget, you will be having great results. And you will be needing to do your accounting, review your revenues, your expenses, assets, liabilities, income statements, balance sheets, and statement of cash flows. You will be needing your fundraising plans and sponsorship as a really important part of this. And this will be all for me. I hope that this webinar will be helping your organization to fill that gaps and that financial liabilities, and having a better understanding of it. Here is my contact information. If you want to, if you have any questions, or if you want any advice doing your national financial plan, here is my information, and you can contact me anytime. Thank you very much. I hope that you all stay safe at home.
So, hi everyone. Thank you very much, Eva, for this webinar. It was very, very interesting. And we hope that it helps the rest of the NMOs or the participants who attended the live stream to improve their finances at their NMO. If you have any questions, please feel free to make them throughout the YouTube live stream or in the WhatsApp Facebook groups that we shared in the Americas group. We're gonna give approximately 3 to 5 minutes, and if there are no any questions, we're gonna end the webinar.
So we have a question. It says, so you have some advice about the actual situation for all the NMOs or local associations. So here my advice would be to go find some external funding. Try to contact some organizations. In the next weeks, I'll be sharing with NMOs a tracking sheet with funding opportunities and grants. So this way you will be able to have some external funding that will be helping you during this situation. Also, you can do some online activities. So this will be my answer for this. We have another question. Eva, what do you advise to NMOs who are struggling with finances due to exchanges, since exchanges are canceled from now? Okay, this is a really difficult situation for everyone. If you have some cancellations, you need to go somewhere else to get the money. In the right part of it will be like, yeah, you won't be having outgoings, so you won't be having that money from them, but you also won't be having incomings, so you won't be in need to use that money for it. Okay, so it will be rebalanced in a certain way. But if you're really struggling, the same advice would be go look for external funding. Okay, so thank you, Sydney and Andrea, for your questions. I don't know if there are other questions. Apparently, we are going to wait a few more minutes.
So I think that's it for today's webinar. Thank you again, Eva, for your effort and this webinar. I hope the NMOs had a new way to overcome the difficulties regarding the finances at their NMOs. And remember, if you have any inquiries, you can contact Eva or any member from the regional team, and they can make the contact for you with Eva. I hope to see you next Friday with mental health in IFMSA teams with Catalina and Blanca at 18 GMT. So bye everyone. I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you everyone. Bye bye.